Sharp as a fight, Alan steady with the facts, sharp and true. Fuji's fire breaks the calm, splits it in two. Pattison Ave, where the wild hearts run, talking sports, games, battles, lost and won. Voices rise, break chains, ignite the flame. Fanatic thunder echoing the name.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. I'm your host, Tom Kelly. With me, as always, Alan Ed Kracz.
What is going on, my brother? Happy Monday to you, my friend. Here we are.
Of the Delaware Valley and Schuylkill County and everywhere in between.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
welcome on into the show.
Somebody's already in the comments, up in the comments. My cousin Ryan, what's happening, boys? What's up, cuzzo?
What's up, dog?
Soon to be one of the newest members of the Cole County Entertainment family. Stay tuned for that.
Beautiful.
It's gonna be awesome. Wait, Ryan, are you trying to jump on this show with us? Didn't you ask me if you wanted to be on the show? If you want, let me know. I'll send you the link. We'll get you in the studio here. This is how real time podcasting works, ladies and gentlemen. And we got Fuji jumping in. Holy moly. From one show to another, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my man, multitasking.
Hey. Oh, Tom, before you fired that up, Tony Luke said he would come on the men's mental health show.
I would absolutely love to do that.
I don't know if you saw it, but he lost his son.
I did. I knew about that. Yeah.
Okay. He just said to let him know.
I will absolutely. Well, we're supposed to be doing one tomorrow night. Maybe not that short a notice, but maybe for next week's show we can get Tony Luke in here. Hold on one second. I'm sending my cousin the link. I'm gonna get my cousin Ryan in here too.
I just wanted to get off there. I didn't want it to like last week.
No, you're good, Fuj. You're good. No worries, man.
All good, brother. All good. It was a great interview with Tony Luke, even though he misunderstood, thinking that I'm not from South Philly and I don't know they call it gravy. You don't know how bad I wanted to jump in your lobby and jump into the bottom of that screen and be like, "Whoa, Tony, take it easy." Like I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you.
You schmuck.
It couldn't have been because you misquoted me.
Oh, hey, Ed Kracz said he's coming on at 8:15.
8:15, no problem. We'll bring Mr. Kracz on.
Can't wait to see that.
Black and Chip went to the
Texans.
Saw that. So what are our thoughts on that? How are we feeling about Reed Blankenship going to the Texans?
I'm upset about it. But at the same time, the Eagles were not going to pay him what he got. He got $16 million guaranteed. He got $36 million over 3 years. The Eagles were not going to pay him that. So good for him. Good for him. I'm upset we're going to lose him, but I mean, good for him.
I didn't know we were on air.
Oh, what did you think, Fuj? Did you think the world just waits for you?
You don't think we're live?
Oh my God, Fuj, you're with Tom. Tom's running the show tonight, so the right song got put on. Okay, there was no talking beforehand.
I'm lucky I didn't come on here and say something like
that. Well, I'm glad you didn't, Fuj. This is my cousin Ryan jumping in. Fuj, I think you might.
How are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Right, we got Ed Kracz, Sports Illustrated beat writer for the Eagles, jumping on in about 10 minutes. So we'll pick Ed's brain about this offseason, but now you're sideways, now you're straight. There you go. What are your thoughts about Reed Blankenship going to the Texans?
I'm kind of bummed that the exciting Whites are breaking up, but I honestly feel like this draft is going to be very safety heavy. So I don't feel too bad about it. In Howie we trust.
So the Eagles, I respect that. I feel like that's almost my slogan. I feel like I wrote that, in Howie we trust. I put that on Fuji's show last week. Or when you guys were on this show, but when Fuji and Alan were running it, I wrote to Fuji and he read it out loud. That says, "In Howie we trust." Did you guys see the Eagles got 4 compensatory picks for this year's draft? Oh,
yes.
Third 98 pick over. I think somebody said they got 4 or 5 picks in the top 100, something like that.
He's got to nail at least 2 of them. You know.
Yeah, but the thing of it is now,
you know.
I mean, you lose Jalen Phillips. They got what, 25 million, 120 for 4 years, 80, I think, guaranteed.
Dude, I'm more upset about Nakobe Dean leaving than Jalen Phillips.
To the Raiders. Oh, yeah. I just saw they went to the Raiders.
I would say
when did this go down? Because I didn't see this.
Yeah, Nakobe,
that happened today.
Dean got signed to cut.
It's been a day.
At some point,
in the hour.
Yeah, we had work right into baseball practice right into here, so I'm sure I missed most of life.
Yeah, it all happened within, like, I swear, 1 hour of time. Everybody was just getting there.
I mean, this free agent frenzy, this tampering, everybody's just like, these GMs are in a supermarket just pulling guys right off the street.
Yeah,
for real.
I mean, I know Tennessee, I think, had the most money under the cap.
So you've never seen anything like this, but since we have Ed coming on, I want to add an extra, because I forgot Ryan was jumping on with this. I'm going to add an extra camera slot. So I'm literally, folks, doing this real time as we speak. Thank you very much for being on the program. Boom, there you go. Now we got a spot for Ed. We'll put him right in the middle, right over Fuji's AI-generated face.
There we go. Listen, Tom, if there's anything that I know about you growing up is that you used your ADHD as a superpower. So.
There it is.
College
show coming shortly.
I completely forgot that we talked earlier this week. I'm like, yeah, Ryan's coming on. I'm like, crap, Ed Kracz, and I'm not gonna have a slot for him. So now we're good to go.
I don't even know why you had to make an AI picture.
Fuji, you look phenomenal.
What are you talking about? Look, handsome.
Fuji, I got people jumping into my inbox asking me who the guy in the middle is on that picture all the time. It's mostly dudes, but not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, how do I answer this freaking question? How do I respond to that?
It's a Monday night, folks.
Oh man! Hey, is this cousin Ryan from years ago at FedEx?
The one that I screamed at and throttled within an inch of his life? Yes, then he still loves me. He still loves me. Thank you very much.
Listen, to everybody watching, I've been in the military for 13 years, and that was my pre-basic training.
Ryan. Well, thank you for your service, Ryan. We really do appreciate it.
What branch?
Appreciate you, boys. Yeah, that was a time, man. That was fun.
What branch were you in?
Army. I'm still in. I did my active time and went to National Guard, so I've been doing that ever since.
Beautiful. No worries about going overseas?
No, I mean, we're trained, man. We do shit all year round.
That's such a gangster response, dude. Like, trained, man. We're trained, man. You want to shoot guns? Shoot guns. You want to fly UAVs? We'll fly UAVs.
Yeah, right. Awesome. Screw it. Go do it.
Yeah, fuck it. Bring them on. But back to sports is like the only thing that I was talking to Sean like an hour ago, Tom.
That's that's his brother, my other cousin.
Yeah, we were talking about Reed, and the only thing that I'm upset about is the fact that he's going to be making what, like $8 million a year? We couldn't pay him
16 mil guaranteed over 3. For 30, yeah. I think it's 36 mil over 3 years.
According to
that's crap. I could find that change in my center console.
According to Jeff Mosher, they were saying Eagles were offering about 8 or 9 million. I don't know how many years, but you could have signed him for him back.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm kind of upset about Reed. But like I said before, is the only thing that's really like consoling is that this draft looks good for safeties. I hope we can pull something out.
Yeah,
I just hope we can get a good tight end out of it.
And how he's not always great with secondary drafting though. So
No, right.
that's the only thing that really worries me.
Has anyone heard about the rumors of us trying to trade Jalen Carter or fielding phone calls?
Look, part of your job is to field phone calls, and other teams show it would be foolish for other teams not to see or take the temperature of, but for fielding a phone call and actually entertaining the conversation are two totally different things.
Correct. Now, if we did entertain the conversation, I don't want to trade him. I don't think the kid should go anywhere. I think he should be probably one of the highest paid interior defensive linemen in the league come when that time comes. But
big time.
Hypothetically speaking, what trade, if it came across the table, would you say, sorry, Carter, you're out?
Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett at 30. He's at 31.
No,
I mean,
he
did break the sack record this year.
It's a hard no, dog.
Hard no.
You want to win now.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
It's a win now, but it's not big picture. Like Jalen Carter is big picture because he's young.
Yeah.
We
what
drafted
is he, 24? 23, 24?
Yeah.
But and if you swap the two, you're taking. If you have two of that ilk, two players on the D line of that kind of status, now you're creating a problem. If you're removing one and putting up another one, you just know the double team's going to shift. That's all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, you got Nolan Smith on the other side, but right now you got no starting defensive end at the other.
I think that's what they're going to target in the draft too. Is edge?
Yeah, definitely.
And how do we trust? That's my response, man. Look.
Oh, I hope so.
This guy, I have never met a GM in sports that like this guy has proven over and over and over again. He does work magic with what he has. He works magic with numbers. He figures out ways to make things happen. Ways to make things happen. He must have pictures of somebody. But until there's he proves me wrong, I'm going to, like him and Jeffrey, when they sit back, things don't go as smoothly as when they meddle. And that, like the owner getting involved and the GM really getting involved when they meddle. They know their product. They know what they have. They know what they need to do. Until they prove me otherwise, with 3 Super Bowl appearances in the last 10 years, 2 Super Bowl victories. Till they prove me otherwise, I'm going to lean heavily on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They've learned, man. Not to meddle too much. When's the last time they meddled? When we took Rager over Jefferson? That's really the last time they really had that
meddled, and it didn't go the way you thought it would go. I mean, Justin Jefferson's a freak.
Exactly. Yeah, we took Rager right in front of him, and
yeah, but if you would have taken Justin Jefferson, you would have had AJ Brown or Devontae Smith.
Also true.
So true. Well, let's go to that AJ Brown situation.
Yeah, I mean, Fuji loves talking about this. It's his favorite topic to talk about.
WIP has my ears melting for the shit that they've been saying about AJ Brown for fucking ever.
Dude, does he actually want out of Philadelphia?
That's a good question.
I don't know. Did he blow some blocking assignments and stuff last year? Sure. I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
what are we talking about?
The Pelton's got to go. I mean, it's like, grow up and be a man,
Fuji. You better hope you never see AJ Brown in a dark alleyway, dude. You hammer that man.
Well, it's the truth. You're near 30 years old, my man. You're not a rookie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
he wanted out of Kevin Pattullo's scheme so bad. He gave up on that scheme.
Hold on 1 second. The views and opinions of Michael Fuji may not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the rest of the panel.
The guy's a phenomenal talent, but I can see that he's frustrated. I mean, when you brought Saquon Barkley in 2 years ago, you should have known there was, the drop off of the passes you were going to get was going to diminish.
It's true.
He's
Very true.
Yeah. Over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns this year. I mean, what more does the guy really want? Over 1,000 yards.
He has the top 2 spots in productivity years for a receiver for the Eagles. He's 1 and 2.
Yeah, franchise history. Yeah. I mean,
as much as I hate to say it, and I love Jalen is at fault too for not getting them. But then again, let me contradict myself.
I got something.
In that 49ers game, he was, I don't know, had hands of stone. And don't tell me he didn't drop any of those damn balls on purpose.
Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead. Get in there.
So with Jalen, all right, he wasn't getting him the ball because he was giving up on his routes. When he was giving up on his routes is when, all right, like I see it. I see he's frustrated. I see that he was going through that, like, because he has those mental health, like the highs and lows during the season. He's talked about that.
Yeah, that's what I agree to that.
And with Pattullo and all that stuff, with how his play calling was, he didn't have any faith in the play calling, so he wasn't running his routes appropriately, and he wasn't getting to the spots where Jalen needed him to be. So then when Jalen was going to throw him the ball, he would skip that read altogether and go to somebody else who was actually giving it the full effort. It was an off year. It was an off year for that entire offense because they couldn't get any rhythm because nothing was syncing up.
KP.
And so, like, and I'm not gonna say that like KP's Philly's most wanted, which I mean, he is, but he's definitely
and he's going
to be the next leader of Iran here shortly. But like, he's not completely at fault either. I mean, it's the players that need to give their effort.
God bless
into
America.
The play screen. So
the hell you do?
Just putting up the American flag. God bless America, man.
God bless America.
Jeez.
But the players needed to give it their all during the season, and AJ wasn't consistent in that.
Well, like Devontae Smith said, it was the same offense you ran for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and
defenses figured it out.
Well, here's the thing. If it's the same offense that they ran for 4 or 5 years, then it's the same offense that Kellen Moore ran the year before, where they won a fucking Super Bowl. Sorry, or whatever. Sorry if there's anyone out there who listening found that offensive. I'm sorry. But it's the same offense. If it's the same, if this past season, if you take what Devontae Smith said, it's the same system, same offense. Then it really comes down to who's calling the offense.
I'm sure
didn't know how to call the offense.
I'm sure our guest in the green room has heard language like this in his years of covering the Philadelphia Eagles for Sports Illustrated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in Ed Kracz to the program. Ed, thanks for jumping on with us.
Man, you guys are you guys are killing my ears with this language. Let me tell you.
Sorry. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Busy day, huh? Free agency?
It has been.
Yeah,
I'm sure you've been. It's been crazy for you.
Yeah, it has, and it's probably going to get crazier, I guess, as we go forward here till Wednesday at 4 when they can make everything official. The league and all these signings and trades that are taking place, everything's going to come out officially 4:00 on Wednesday.
Any of these moves, Ed, surprise you at all over over the last 24 hours or so that you've seen?
I would say maybe Jalen Phillips leaving, but man, when the Carolina Panthers come in with an offer like that, 4 years, $120 million, that just blew the Eagles right out of the water. They had a walkaway number, not sure what it was, maybe 23 to 25 million. But the guy got 31 million to play a year in Carolina. The weather's warmer, nice city too. But money talks, man. I know Phillips talked how much he loved being in Philly, but $7 million more a year, whatever it is, 6-7 more a year. That's pretty significant for a guy that just got married, probably just had a kid. Is going to be able to set up roots now 4 years. So maybe that was a bit of a surprise. But with Kobe leaving and Reed Blankenship leaving, not really. I thought for maybe a second after they lost Jalen Phillips that, maybe they'll try to bring Kobe back, and maybe they'll try to make Jahad Campbell kind of a full-time edge, and they'll run it back with Dean and Bond. But it didn't work out that way. Campbell's going to take Dean's place, and it happened, and I was expecting that to happen.
Yeah. Losing Nakobe, that one I felt. I didn't want to lose Reed either, but Nakobe was the one that I was hoping after Phillips left that he could find a way to kind of finagle and keep him in there. But I mean, I think he followed some money as well. So I mean, you can't blame these guys. When the
for 120 million, I'd be breaking the pen in half to sign that contract. I mean, like that's hard to walk away from.
Yeah,
he actually is having a kid. Phillips is having a boy. So
yeah, I know when we talked to him, he said the baby was due in March. So I wasn't sure, having not talked to him, since the early January, if the baby was born, if he got married, because he talked about a fiance. So I'm not sure all that life stuff has happened for him yet, but if not, it's happening, and it's happening soon. So
March 15th is a good day. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. The Ides of March. Nakobe. I mean, he's getting $12 million a year. I'll say this about Nakobe. He's one of my favorite players that I've ever covered. I mean, the guy's just as stand up as they come in the locker room. He'll stand there all night after a game and answer questions for various waves of reporters that would come at him. Never cut short any interviews. A real leader in that locker room, a popular guy in that locker room. That's all well and good, but then you look at Nakobe, the guy just can't stay healthy, right? I mean, you can say the same for Phillips, but Nakobe, it's not a good mix when you're a 5'11", 230-pound player who plays with the physicality he does. And I think that's what led to some of the injuries. I know the injury caused him to drop out of the first round, where a lot of experts had him picked to go back in 2022, but he slid to the third round. The Eagles got a great value. But again, listen, he could stay healthy for the life of this contract that he signed with the Raiders. We saw it with Jordan Hicks when he was with the Eagles, a third-round pick, a linebacker from Texas. Got hurt a lot when he was in Philly. He left town, and he was healthy for like the next 5 years. He never got hurt again. So, hopefully for Nakobe, it happens for him. But again, you'd have liked to have seen him be on the field and more available during his time here.
Ed, with day two, the next wave of players, do you see any defensive ends out there the Eagles could be targeting at this moment?
Yeah, I mean, not really. Look at the prices of these defensive ends that went off the board today. You're in the mid-20s. After Phillips, you had Boye Mafe went for like $25 million. There was another guy, I can't remember, who went for over 20. Maybe when the dust settles in the second or third wave, they bring somebody in. But all of a sudden, in my opinion, they tried to get it done with free agents last year. Aziz Ojulari, Josh Uche, Agbo Okoronkwo. Nothing worked out. They bring in Zadarius Smith the day after the season opener. Looked good, and then a month later he decides to retire. So in my opinion, they really need to find an answer in the draft. So put it on on your list of priorities heading into the draft. I think that you could look at it and say an offensive lineman, a tight end, and an edge rusher are going to be your three picks. And whatever order that happens to be, I don't know, but I think those are the three priorities now you have in the draft. You have to find a player like a Jalix Hunt that you can bring in here, develop, and keep around for 4 years or 5 years if he's a first round pick. So, I mean, look at Hunt, how he's developed. He led the team in sacks and interceptions this year. He had a great year. He's another guy that you're going to have to find a way to keep. So,
Right.
You know, it's definitely an issue, you know, having to address now a pass rusher and a safety. You know, what are you going to do there? I mean, what's available in free agency, and any answer that you find at defensive edge or safety in free agency is going to be kind of patchwork. It's going to be, you know, a second, third wave guy who's going to come in for 1 year, and you hope that the high risk gives you a high reward, because they're not going to go out and they're not going to sign some guy to a 4-year, you know, $100 million deal. It's just not going to happen like that. So whoever they bring in probably won't excite too many people. But that's the reality of when you draft as well as the Eagles have, and you're bringing in guys like Jalen Carter and Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. I mean, look at those cornerbacks. The Rams gave Trent McDuffie, who isn't as good, in my opinion, as Quinyon Mitchell. They gave him $124 million for 4 years, $31 million a year. In 2 years, what's Mitchell going to command, or Cooper DeJean? Are you going to be able to keep both of them? I mean, listen, people might be mad that the Eagles aren't doing anything first day or second day, third day, but in the end, it's because they've drafted so well. They've brought in this amazing talent, and you just can't keep everybody.
Yeah, that's the thing about sports, man.
I really hope they keep in a couple of years can keep Guantanamo Bay out there.
Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a high bar that the Rams set.
I love that kid, and where he came from and his whole story. I love that kid.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing about
the Jeans. Like, awesome. Cooper's awesome too. You'd like to keep them both. I don't know if they'll be able to.
I keep echoing the sentiment in Howie we trust, but like you said, when you draft as well as you do, there's no possible way to keep all of these players. Just you can't do it.
I knew it once we started drafting like all these crazy good players. Like it'll hurt to see Quinyon Mitchell or Coop go, but I know that we're gonna have to face that heartbreak one day. So, you know, hopefully we don't. Hopefully we're able to make something work. Those two guys are quintessential to our success on defense, especially Cooper DeJean. That kid can go anywhere on that field, and he's proven that. So he's a really incredible talent.
I guess the good news is I don't think it was a very good draft for the Eagles last year. So, you know, other than Jahad Campbell and maybe Makuba, although Makuba's another guy like Nakobe, who is a physical player, and he's only like 5'10", 180 pounds. I mean, you're going to get hurt, and we saw it. He broke his ankle a quarter of the season left. So, but after those two guys, I mean, this is a draft that, you know, I don't think was that good. So maybe, you know, that's a good thing, I guess, in the long run, right? If you're trying to keep guys,
right? Yeah, trying to spread that money around a little bit,
right?
Ed, would you say all these rumors about Jalen Carter being traded, is it hearsay or just?
Well, I think, you know, there could be something to it. You know, you try to get some draft picks and trade them away. I mean, how many $25 million players can you have on your roster? I mean, you have Jordan Davis, who just got a $26 million a year deal that kicks in after this year. You know, you have Jalen Hurts, who's over 30 million. You have AJ Brown, who's going to be over 30. You have, you know, some members of your offensive line are creeping up on that number. So how many can you realistically have, and does Carter fit that mix? I think them not keeping Jalen Phillips probably it bodes well for keeping Jalen Carter here. I mean, remember, this kid's still 24. Right. He turns 25, I think, next month in April. But still very, very young player. But there are some concerns, you know, I think there's some maturity concerns with Jalen Carter. And I think there's the issue of being in shape. I mean, he wasn't in shape all through the summer. I know he was limited because I think it was a shoulder or a knee at that time. So, but he never really got into shape as the season went on. So, you know, those are issues that could give the Eagles reason to say, hey, you know, why are we going to give this kid $33 million a year unless he matures a little and takes it seriously and gets his body right like Jordan Davis did?
As far as the
had two shoulder issues this past season.
It's another thing, you know, what is going on in the shoulders that he had to have those platelet-rich plasma injections. Is this going to be a degenerative issue? I mean, as a deep tackle, you need your shoulders to play the game, and if they're not 100%, then your game's going to be compromised.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you think this year is going to be, if we do keep him on for this year, do you think it's going to be like a make it, a break it, or a prove it for Jalen Carter to show that maturity?
Yeah, I mean, they'll pick up his contract, his team option. That comes up in early May. They have to decide to pick that up for 2027, that 5th year, and they will. It's going to be $27 million and change, but they'll pick that up. But then comes the issue is, okay, how much are we going to invest in him going forward? So yeah, we'll see. This could be a make or break year for Jalen Carter, or they could come out right now and say, hey, we like what we've seen in the offseason. He put out this video of him doing these shoulder presses and working out. Kind of reminded me of Ben Simmons when he would put out video of him shooting 3-pointers. Hey, look, I can do it. And then he couldn't do it. So, you hope it's not one of those deals.
Oh, man.
That's a hard comparison.
Hell of a comparison.
But yeah, I think they could come out and say, hey, we didn't sign Phillips. Now we're going to give Jalen Carter this kind of cash. And maybe he comes a little cheaper, because if you do play this year under this prove it type deal, what if the guy comes out and has 9 sacks and is an all pro, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's up in the $35 to $40 million range on an extension. So maybe you try to get ahead of that game, kind of roll the dice, thinking, hey, he's going to be, he's going to have a good year because we like the video, we like what we saw, we like what we're hearing from his camp. Let's give him the money and bank on him having a good year. So when the price tag goes up, if he has this fantastic year, we got a bit of a discount.
Yep, you're already locked in.
Yeah.
Ed, what's your take on the Sean Mannion hiring and a couple of the other assistant guys on the offense?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I like bringing in outsiders. The Eagles have done well when they've gone outside the organization. Not so well when they've promoted from within with Brian Johnson and Kevin Patullo. But it worked with Shane Steichen. It worked with Kellen Moore. Why can't it work with Sean Mannion? I like the fact he brings in ideas from other systems. Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan. I think Nick is flexible enough to let him bring in these new concepts to work with the team. I like the fact they brought in Josh Grizzard, who has OC experience. They brought in Jared Johnson, 3 pretty good offensive minds, and I think Nick will let them cook. I think Nick is smart that way. I don't think Nick is all about his ego in terms of this has to be my offense, this has to be my way. He's open to new ideas, and I think that's one of the reasons he's been one of the best coaches the Eagles have ever had. He's got 65 career wins. Nobody's probably going to touch Andy Reid's 130, but Sirianni's 1 away from Greasy Neal moving into second for most wins by an Eagles coach. I mean, that to me is that's successful. And I know a lot of fans don't like Nick Sirianni, and I don't really understand why, because who are you going to find better at this point? I mean, maybe there's somebody better. Are you going to be able to find him? Are you going to be able to bring him in? And what is better? 70 wins over 5 years? I mean, I don't know. 65 in 5 years, 2 trips to the Super Bowl and 1 Super Bowl wins. Pretty damn good in my book. So
I think anybody who's hating on Sirianni has got the WIP bug in their ear.
Maybe, but yeah, I just think he's smart enough to understand that. Hey, I'm bringing in these coaches. He interviewed, the official word is 17, but it was a lot more than that. I know that for a fact. He talked to a lot of people, and when Sean Mannion came in and gave his take, he was like, wow, he was blown away by it. So they brought him in for a second look. Same with Josh Grizzard. I mean, it's interesting that they hired 3 of the guys that they brought in for second interviews, Grizzard, Johnson, and Mannion. Now, the flip side is Mannion's never called plays, but I think he can do it. I think he has to develop a feel for it, get to know his players, and that'll be a process that we go through here in the spring and then through training camp.
There's another guy that you mentioned never called plays either. That was Andy Reid.
Right. And, there's a parallel. We haven't talked to Sean Mannion or any of these guys. The Eagles don't make them available. They've never have. It's not until OTAs when we'll probably get to ask some questions of Sean Mannion. But it's an interesting parallel. I read a story that Sean Mannion, when he was 7 years old, his dad was a football coach, and Sean came to his first game as a high school game, and he brought like a yellow manila folder, 7-year-old. You know, I mean, could you guys even read and write when you were 7 years old? I don't know. I don't remember if I could, but this kid was, this kid was taking
riding a bike and playing football. That's about it.
Yeah, right. You know, maybe you were concussed 3 times already at that point. You know, who knows? but you know, this
explains everything now.
right. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so little Sean Mannion shows up 7 years old at the game, and he's taking pages and pages of notes on this manila, you know, lined paper, and showed it to his dad, and his dad was blown away by it, and he kept that, and he gave it to him, I think, when Sean got his first coaching job, maybe when he was drafted into the NFL. He said, look, I saved this, and here it is. And that kind of reminded me of Andy Reid when he showed up for his interview in Philly in 1999 with that big, you know, heavy notebook binder stuffed with notes and, you know, plays and all this other stuff. I mean, that's kind of the student of the game part that Andy Reid was good at from a young age. And I think that's the same with Sean Mannion, just based on this story. Now, like I said, I haven't talked to him. That's certainly something I want to talk to him about. But, you know, he's a student of the game. So that's impressive. And that's what kind of leads me to believe that, yeah, he's going to figure out how to call plays. He'll get it. Maybe it'll take a little time, but he'll figure it out.
Yeah. Now, is there any worry that since Josh has OC experience already, that there could be, if Mannion doesn't get off on a right spot, that maybe he would try to weasel his way into that position? Or do you think maybe he would be more of an ally for Mannion to be like, all right, hey, maybe we can try this, or, you know, maybe he's someone Mannion can bounce ideas off. I don't know your opinion on that.
Yeah, I've never met either man. I'll be honest. I've never met Mannion, Group, or even Johnson. I don't remember him when he was in Eagles camp at all. But you hope that's not the case, and you hope that Nick Sirianni's culture is strong enough to not let something like that go on, and his ability to hire people, he would be able to see through that if that was going to be the case. And you know, you hope it's kind of like a Kellen Moore, Doug Nussmeier relationship, where those two guys had been together for years. They came here as kind of a package deal, and they bounced ideas off each other in coordination with Nick. And you hope that's going to be the same with Mannion and Grizzard and maybe even Johnson and Nick. You know, you hope that that's going to be it. They're going to run ideas past each other. If they don't like them, they're not going to be afraid to say, hey, man, this sucks. Let's do it this way. And then you talk through it. But I hope there's no jealousy or anything like that takes place. I certainly wouldn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, true students of the game. I mean, that's how it would be. So if they are true students of the game, like Mannion is, they're going to be looking for that cohesiveness, those new ideas to come to the table.
Yeah, I don't think there's any room for that. I'm hoping, God forbid, there's not any room for that in that locker room, and you know, all these guys are just out for the same goal.
Ed, being that it's just day one, I mean, guys flying right off the board. Is there any early winners you would say that really made an impact in free agency today already?
You don't win a Super Bowl on March 9th. You know, and you usually see these teams that win free agency or teams that stink and have a lot of money to spend, and they don't make always the best decisions. And you have to be careful when you're shelling out all this kind of money to players you might not know very well. How are they going to receive that money? Are they going to be like kick back and be like, hey, man, I made it? Kind of like Nnamdi Asomugha. Remember him? The Eagles gave him that big contract, and then he just took the rest of his life off. You know, ate lunch in the bar by himself, had no interest in interacting with his teammates. So you hope as you sign these guys that's not going to happen to them. But it does. It inevitably does happen to some. The money poisons them. So I don't know if there were any winners. I mean, I think the Raiders did a nice job. You know, they're going to draft Mendoza. They're going to have their quarterback. But right after they signed Nakobe Dean, they signed Quay Walker, another Georgia guy. So, you know, Walker and Dean played with each other at Georgia, just like Nakobe played with all his Georgia mates here, Davis, Carter, Keely Ringo, Nolan Smith. So I like what the Raiders have done. I think they've made some smart decisions with their new head coach, Clint Kubiak, and his staff, and John Spytek as the GM, learned under Howie Roseman. He's kind of one of Howie Roseman's GM branches. So, if I had to pick a winner, it would probably be the Raiders. But again, March 9th, you're not winning a Super Bowl now. It's what are you going to do in 10 months when you get to February? Are you going to be in the big game, or are you going to be sitting home getting ready to sign more free agents?
Right.
I'm hoping not for sure. Ed, I know you were kind of highlighting some of the desperate needs the Eagles have in this offseason. What are some of the underliers that people might not necessarily be paying attention to, but are definitely still big needs for this team that you see?
Well, I think, you look at the imbalance between the offense and defense. The offense has a lot of long-term contracts already. The defense doesn't. And now you're kind of flipping the script a little bit, and the defense is going to start getting paid as these offensive contracts for the offensive linemen begin to, run their course. So to me, I think your needs are offensive line, especially with a new O-line coach coming in, a new scheme possibly coming in. The Eagles still want to run the football. It's going to look different how they do it. You're going to see more under center from Jalen. But you want to bring in some new linemen for Chris Cooper, guys that haven't learned under Jeff Stoutland, who might be a little resistant to what Chris Cooper's teaching them. Guys like Mulata and Johnson and Dickerson and Juergens. But, again, these guys are pros, so they should come in, with their minds wide open, ready to receive whatever technique is being taught to them. But you want to bring in linemen, in my opinion. You want to bring in high caliber linemen, guys in the first and second round, high pedigree linemen. The Eagles have been taking these guys on the third day because they knew Stoutland was around and he could develop guys more often than not. So you took flyers late thinking, hey, we might be able to bring in and develop somebody to be a starter for us with Stoutland at the helm. Now you don't have that. So I think your, offensive line, no matter what position, is going to be, to me, an underlying need. Tight end, of course, is pretty obvious. And maybe even running back. Saquon Barkley's going to be 30 years old. Talked last year about maybe retiring at some point sooner than later. Tank Bigsby's on the final year of his rookie deal. And Will Shipley, this will be his third year. Has he done anything to warrant a second contract? So, maybe running back is sort of an underlying need. Maybe they go in the third round and they draft like maybe a Nick Singleton from Penn State or one of these other running backs that could still be there. Singleton, of course, had the injury, so you have, you can afford to take your time with him to develop him. So, running back could be an underlying need, but I think offense is really kind of where you need to bring in some young guys and start getting them ready to take over when these older guys like Mulata, Dick, the guys I mentioned, when their contracts run their course.
Totally agree with that.
Makes sense to me.
Hey, would you say there's a second defensive back that could play opposite of Quinyon Mitchell that's out there, or do you think the Eagles will go in the draft D-back wise?
Yeah, would you see some of the prices being paid to the D-backs today? I thought James Pierre would have been a good fit from the Steelers, but the Vikings, like they did last year with Isaiah Rodgers, Howie Roseman thought he had a deal done with him. A couple days later, he gets a call that Rodgers is signing with the Vikings, and I think they got the jump on James Pierre. I thought he would have been pretty good, but he signed a 2-year, $8.5 million deal. I mean, that's palatable if you're the Eagles. You could live with that, but the Vikings got him. I liked him. I thought he could have been in the mix. Again, we'll see when the dust settles who's still out there. Josh Jobe got a big deal for the Seahawks, former undrafted from the Eagles. I'm not sure in the draft you go that way. I mean, I think bringing back Michael Carter on a rework deal could be a splash move as the months pass here. He's got flexibility to play the slot, which means you can put Cooper DeJean outside if you don't find anybody. They can put him at safety in case you don't find another safety that you're happy with. So I think bringing him back was a really good move for the Eagles and probably pretty much under the radar because, this guy was not long ago considered one of the best slot corners in football. Right. And then he had an injury, fell off a little bit. But you hope that as he continues to get healthy, he can get back to that level. And I think he can. And to his credit, he wanted to come back here. He talked about how much he loved being in Philly during the season, and he was willing to take, a reworked deal to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's a good under the radar guy, but other guys, you have flexibility, like I said with Carter, like you have DeJean, man, like someone said earlier, you can play him anywhere. But you would like to find that CB2 and keep Cooper in the slot because he's just an elite player in the slot. And I'm not sure Carter can play on the outside. I think he's more a slot safety type of guy. So maybe you look for somebody that they can plug in there. Adoree Jackson. I mean, Keely Ringo's not the answer. We all know that. I mean, he really messed up his opportunity last year. So they do have to find somebody. I'm just not sure who it's going to be at this stage.
Right.
Well, so lots of rumors floating out there about number 11, Mr. A.J. Brown, seeking a trade, looking for a trade. The Eagles asking for 2 firsts. I don't want to see AJ go anywhere, but what do you think the Eagles, or I don't know if what the Eagles may be thinking of with AJ. Do they bring him back? Do they look to trade him after at the draft, or do they just roll it back?
Yeah, I don't think AJ's happy. I don't think AJ wants to be here. And I don't think that's a reflection on anybody. I just think it's because of the Eagles' philosophy is they're a run first offense. And, AJ's production has gone down since his first year here when he had almost 1,500 yards, set the Eagles franchise record for most yards in a receiving in a season. And then since then, it's just gone steadily downhill. And that's not his fault. Now, last year, he wasn't happy. He didn't have focus. He dropped more passes than he should have. I don't think you want to run that back. And I think the Eagles will try to accommodate him. The issue is if you're going to cut a player, you can designate it post June 1st, and you can get the savings on that after that date. But they're not going to cut him. But when you trade a player, you can't designate the trade as a post June 1st trade. It has to happen in real time, which means if the Eagles want to deal him, it could be for capital in next year's draft, which to me is probably what's going to happen. Now, that's not going to help them this year to find a replacement, but you still have 4 picks in the top 100. You have 9 picks now after they were awarded an extra comp pick today. So everybody thought it was 8 draft picks. It's now 9. Granted, it's a 6th round pick, but it's still something you can use as ammo to move around the board during the draft, like how he likes to do so often. But I think AJ will eventually be gone. I'm just not sure it's going to happen before June 1st. They might have a deal in place that say, AJ, stay away from OTAs. We're going to trade you. And we'll know about it, but it won't happen until after June 1st, which means they're not going to get any draft collateral this year. It could be a 1 and a 2 from New England in the 2027 draft. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, whether you get it now or later. I mean, they got the 3rd round pick for the Jets this year from the Hassan Reddick trade 2 years ago. I mean, that was for a 3rd rounder in 2027. And everybody's like, well, it doesn't help us now. But look now, it's 2026, and we got this 3rd rounder. So, 2027 picks are fine.
Ed, as you're saying about A.J. Brown being traded, what would you think is Howie's backup plan to replace, if you can't even replace A.J. Brown?
Yeah, well, you have Jahan Dotson's no longer around, and I don't think he was utilized very well last year. I think he's going to go to Atlanta, Jahan Dotson. I think he's going to do pretty good.
He did. Yeah, he did go. He signed with the Falcons.
Yeah, 2 years. I think it's a great deal for him, for the Falcons. I think he'll have a good year. The Eagles never used him right. So really, you're looking at, if you lose Brown, you're looking at who's going to play opposite Devontae Smith. You have Darius Cooper. I'm not sure you're ready to, make him anything more than a 4th receiver at this point. You have Johnny Wilson coming back, who, was looking good in training camp last summer until he ripped up his ankle and knee and missed the whole year. But after that, you're going to have to find, some guys that can catch a football. And, to me, receivers aren't that hard to find. Great ones like AJ, they're hard to find. But you can find guys that if you're going to be a running offense, do you really need Devontae Smith and AJ Brown? You really need two potentially Hall of Fame receivers. I mean, Devontae's great. You're going to run the offense through him and Barkley and maybe whoever the tight end is. So I don't know, if you really need to go that high end at receiver. You can find somebody in the draft. Maybe it's a deep draft for receivers. Maybe you can get one with that fourth pick in the top 100. Like I mentioned, you're going to have offensive line, probably a tight end, probably a pass rusher. And if you lose Brown, a receiver. So those 4 picks in your top 100 will probably go to those positions if they lose Brown. Maybe if they don't even lose Brown, one will go to a receiver.
Right.
Yeah, just to get that viable backup.
Right, and somebody you can develop who you have under team control for 4 years.
Yeah, I would take that in a heartbeat. Well, Ed, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you jumping on with us for a little bit.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys.
Thank you so much,
It was
Ed.
awesome talking to you, Ed.
Enjoy the rest of free agency.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Yeah, man. Always good to have Ed jump on with us. Greatly appreciate his time and his insight for sure. I mean, he's down there living it.
Yes, he is.
He's a rock star.
Well, as we were speaking, here's the latest that the Eagles draft picks are. First, second, 2/3, the one from the Jets, the compensatory, 2 4th-round picks, 2 5ths, and a 6th.
Fuji, I did not know you knew ventriloquism.
Yeah, I'm a up yours.
Woo! Oh, I love it.
You're all good, food. Come on.
Mike Jackson, my buddy Mike Jackson checking in saying trade AJ.
Yeah.
I'm hearing it more and more from Eagles fans, man. They're not thrilled. They're not thrilled with this all-world-wide receiver because he's a diva.
No, nobody was throwing T.O. and all his antics either.
It's true.
I was just
very
going to compare
true.
that.
Yep,
Actually,
none of us were. Yeah.
Ryan, there's a wolf in your house.
Yeah, it's my
Careful.
husky.
Well, look, everybody, that is going to do it for the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. We thank Ed Kracz for jumping on with us again. Ryan, thank you for jumping in. I'm glad we were able to make that work real time.
Nice to meet you.
Next time, don't let your ADHD cousin drop the ball. Text me and remind me, and I'll make sure I get you in here pre-show next time.
Hey, man,
Ryan,
I'm just going to sit here and comment, but I'm glad to join anytime.
Ryan,
Yeah.
I'm sure he dropped the ball. I'm sure he's always dropped the ball.
Oh, that's it. From the latecomer who didn't realize we were alive. Thanks for that.
Oh, yeah.
Then I saw the clock.
Fuge, I'm glad that you didn't say, because I mean, you say some stuff in the pre-show lobby and the post-show lobby.
Hey, I'm honest.
I respect it.
Honestly,
So for Alan Anchikavich, for Mike Fuji, for Ryan Hain, I am Tom Kelly. This is the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show.
Peace.